WIIFTBP.
Broken screen? Crash system? Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information. Reach the ruler. This is Week Ho Wednesday, and to my right is Everybody's Women Crush Wednesday. My co-host, the one and only Toy. It goes, love this show, y'all. I'm dealing with a guy. We have been dating for 9 months. In light of everything going on in the world, he has been voicing his opinion about situations, and I don't agree with any of his views. I love everything else except his opinions.
Damn.
How do I fix this? FYI, he's white.
It's about to be a white boy summer.
So could that be the issue?
For sure. Just come out different when it's not coming from your own race. It's just never been something I'd be like, oh, I date Bill.
I'm just a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill.
I don't really like light-skinned guys. I don't like pink meat.
Pink, so like it's like you see it.
Pink tip, it be pink.
And then pink on the
I
tip.
don't like.
So have a light-skinned guy have a dark tooth.
And then it look dark, so it's nasty off to me.
Okay,
I feel like it's supposed to be pink because they light-skinned. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want it to be dark because then I'm gonna say you dirt.
Peace, everybody out there. What's going on? This is Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land, the Bigs. Check me and my player partner Terrence Tomlin, aka T-Tom the Great, out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. on What's In It for the Black People Media Network. You got to Kennedy King, so you remember Corey Brown?
I definitely remember Corey Brown from Morgan Punch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Murder, man. I got it in with y'all one day before a game. And then y'all literally went out and destroyed some people by about 50 at Kennedy King. And I'll never forget, somebody shot a jumper. It came off long. And Corey will tell this story to this day. He says he went up, and I was in the stands. He went up for the rebound. And before he could jump, he said he felt a foot on his head. And it was you. And you caught it. Classic P-Mac catching it over everybody, putting it back in. He says before he jumped, he felt a foot on his head. And Corey was 6'4".
On his head.
On his head.
Yeah, Corey was 6'4", man. I used to I don't know, I had a knack, man. I was always uber athletic. Like I was taught earlier, if somebody shoot, you got to come from the opposite side. I had a guy in my neighborhood named Wayne Irvin, legendary dude to us in our neighborhood. Played at Chicago State, played at Wyoming. Okay. Played against Patrick Ewing. He passed away a couple years ago, but went to CVS. He was a decorated player. A lot of people knew him. And he taught me early, like, you attack offensive rebounds from the opposite side. So if somebody shoot from the left wing, you crash from the right. If somebody shoot from the top of the key, you can crash because it can go either way and you can get it. I was so big and athletic. I used to get a lot of tip dunks. Like, for some reason, people never boxed me out. And once I got a running start, if it came off anywhere over the rim and bounced up, you was dead.
This is Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land, the Bigs. Check me and my player partner Terrence Tomlin, aka T-Tom the Great, out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. on What's In It for the Black People Media Network. Yo, it's the Great checking in. You already know. Hood Mayor. That name ring a bell. Everywhere he go. The neighborhood hero. Yeah. Ballin' on you niggas, man, I see y'all in the bleachers. Ain't fucking with you, shorty, need no leeches. Practice what I preach, don't need no teachers. Got my own niggas, I don't need your features. In the streets, yeah, you know my name, it ring a bell. Got this shit sold sold up just like Stringer Bell. Got the pack in for the low, you better bring a scale. Slide through the city streets, yeah, niggas know I'm well. In the streets, yeah, you know my name and ring a bell. Got this shit sold up just like Stringer Bell. Got the pack in for the low, you better bring a scale. Slide through the city streets, yeah, niggas know I'm well. Pull up in the Phantom, in the city, yeah, nigga, this is my anthem. When I was a shorty, yeah, niggas call me Hammer. Designer to the floor, nigga looking like a scammer. Made a life shooting dice, nigga was a gambler. Me and my niggas don't play around. Got a couple of dogs that'll lay it down. Fuck wait till they don't make it now. The great machine don't make a sound. Like a rock, can nobody stop us. Like I'm Pelly Coast, yeah, niggas swap it. Now we pull that Aston dropper. Can't believe niggas tried to crop us out the pitch. LBJ, every night I'm going for double digits. All my bitches bad, and they gotta watch they fake. You a snake, bro? Nah, we don't really fit. Moves through, and the nigga might clear. Early bird gets the worm, yeah, niggas gotta get up. We gone. Ballin' on you niggas, man, I see y'all in the bleachers. Ain't fucking with you, shorty, need no leeches. Practice what I preach, don't need no teachers. Got my own niggas, I don't need your features. In the streets, yeah, you know my name and ring a bell. Got this shit sold up just like Stringer Bell. Got the pack in for the low, you better bring a scale. Sliding through the city streets, yeah, niggas know I'm well. Yeah.
Be making niggas think they can fuck with me. Stay with a small circle to ensure I stay sucker free. Peace to the niggas rockin', those that truly got love for me. To the women that be lustin' me, they dreamin' of fucking me. Lick your fingertips and rub your clit to this, and let my voice bring you the climax. My raps is more real than any 3D or IMAX. Listen and digest this fly shit like Venus flytraps. Side-eye niggas that speak on my city, you shy rap. Niggas love glorifying stupid shit, the useless shit in front of cameras, goofy capping, act as if you used to shit. With Max producing shit, how could I fall short? I hit the booth and get the kicking shit of all sorts. Listen, I'm just a product of the inner city. I remember plenty nights there wasn't any lights and with no dinner in me. I was in tune with the harsh realities of life at an early age. Was used to struggle at an early stage. That made me appreciate the small shit. So now I kick that off the wall shit that leave these rapping niggas all sick. They say jealousy and envy get you nowhere, so I'd rather not go there. These niggas panic when I touch mics, I'm Rudy Gobert. I ain't the type to talk jazzy while hiding behind a screen naming Abby. You pushing buttons or trying to get at me, huh? I'm John Wick with this shit. I'm killing everything while bitches sleeping on me. I'm setting fire to bed frames, replacing alarm clocks with time bombs to bomb spots. This onslaught's for certain. These other niggas is long shots. Dousing your mattress in gasoline. It's asinine to try to find a rapper that rap is mean. I haven't seen a rap nigga that worry me yet. So far ahead of my time, I got fans that ain't heard of me yet. I'm not the nigga you should step to disrespectful. If I address you, won't be no rescue. They gon' have to dress you in a black suit and some dress shoes. Unless you suicidal or glutton for punishment, I'll never choose to rival the motherfuckers I'm running with.
Reach the ruler. This is Week Ho Wednesday, and to my right is Everybody's Women Crush Wednesday. My co-host, the one and only Toy. It goes, love this show, y'all. I'm dealing with a guy. We have been dating for 9 months. In light of everything going on in the world, he has been voicing his opinion about situations, and I don't agree with any of his views. I love everything else except his opinions. Damn. How do I fix this? FYI, He's white.
It's about to be a white boy summer.
So could that be the issue?
For sure. Just come out different when it's not coming from your own race. It's just never been something I'd be like, oh, I date Bill.
I'm just a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill.
I don't really like light-skinned guys. I don't like pink
Yeah,
meat.
pink. So like it's like you see it.
Pink tip, it be pink.
And then pink on the
Yeah, I
tip.
don't like.
So sometimes a light skinned guy have a dark tooth.
And then it look dark,
And you-
so it's nasty off to me.
Okay, so
I feel
now
like
you-
it's supposed to be pink because they light skinned. You know what I'm saying?
but
But I don't
because
want
it's
it to
not-
be dark because then I'm gonna say you dirty.
Hey, I'm crying real tears. I'm crying real tears. I'm crying real tears for Chicago. I pray we don't get lost in all our sorrow. I say I'm crying real tears. I'm crying real tears. I'm crying real tears for Chicago. We don't know if we gon' let it see tomorrow. No. 52 wounded, 10 murdered in a weekend. Homicides on women are increasing. 12 blinking at us for no reason. Feel like we going off the deep end. They still ain't found Kierico. Reported missing about a year ago. And she was pregnant with a little one. Her family praying for a miracle. Sexy being Kanika ain't get no justice. Where the energy they have is just these Smollett. I done heard every theory, but where the suspect? Ain't no luck, yeah. I'm crying real tears. I'm crying real tears. I'm crying real tears for Chicago. I pray we don't get lost in all our sorrow. I say I'm crying real tears. I'm crying real tears. I'm crying
WIIFTBP.
Listening to the Bigs with Eugene, McIntosh, and Terrence Tomlin.
He's bare-chested,
Right here on What's in It for the Black People Meet.
WIIFTBP.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
They calling us the bigs, it's the bigs, it's the bigs, and not because our size, it's the bigs, it's the bigs. They calling us the bigs, it's the bigs, it's the bigs, and not because our size, it's the bigs, it's the bigs. They calling us the bigs, it's the bigs, it's the bigs, and not because our size, it's the bigs, it's the bigs. They calling us the bigs, it's the bigs, it's the bigs, and not because our size.
Y'all know what time it is. It is officially time to get down on the soil with the brothers T-Tom and my brother Gino. What's good, man?
What's the Benoski?
I'm feeling good, man. Back in front of family members, holding it down for the illest independent sports media outlet in the land. Y'all know what it is, the Bigs Media. Man, Gino, honestly, I'm so excited to talk sports today. I had a beautiful night with family. And DJ, NBA free agency is upon us, bro. I woke up with some big ideas that I'm gonna share with the people today. Other than that, Gino, we are officially on the other side of Cubs Armageddon. Man, oh man, did Jed Hoyer and crew do their thing to the roster? Took a chopper to the roster, and we've already seen at least the first couple of pages in the next chapter for Javier Baez, Anthony Rizzo, and Chris Bryant, who all went deep in their first games with their new teams.
Of course.
Gino, I got to talk about that with you for a minute. But other than that, man, I'm feeling good on this Monday, man. How you feeling, DJ?
Man, I'm feeling real good, fellas, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go on, hit me with that classic line of yours, man.
Man, I'm blessed by the best. You already know the rest.
There you go, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's all love on this side, man. Happy to be back down on the soil. 75 degrees out there, perfect weather.
Perfect weather.
For you to do whatever you got to do, whether you want to hit the beach, whether you want to take a bike ride, whether you want to take a walk.
Eat outside.
Have your lunch.
Down.
Yeah. Pop your top.
Yes,
you want to get a hoop in on the lake, whatever you want to do, man. It's the perfect day for that. So,
and if you peek at the forecast, it's gonna be like this for the next handful of days. So go ahead and enjoy those hot August nights that are upon us.
We in August already?
Man, Joe, August already. The summer just breezes by. And I know Chicagoans feel me when it's like, damn, we get 8 months of winter, then we just get a few weeks of summer. But
time flies.
We know how to make the best of it.
Time flies when you're having fun, brother.
You know what they say. But Gino, where you want to start, man? Should we start with the NBA at 6 o'clock? Teams are gonna 6 o'clock tonight. Teams will officially be able to start having conversations with free agents to try to convince them to join their team. And there's some names out there, Gino.
Yeah, my man Elliot, aka King 7.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw his tweet yesterday at the Brothers.
Sir.
He said, "Can we get a free agency special before y'all go on the Cubs rant on the show?" And I said,
"Yeah,
man, don't you think the rant deserves first dibs?" And he said, "Yeah, it does, but I feel like y'all gonna get in y'all bag on the Cubs, and I don't want no stone unturned because it's a lot to unpack."
I feel that. I feel like we can take the Cubs to the finish line if you want. You know what I mean? And we can sprinkle some White Sox in it today. They have an off day. But I feel like what happened to the Cubs was a little bit slightly more impactful in the big picture. And even though the White Sox did some heavy lifting as well, Craig Kimbrell is over there, Ryan Tepera.
We called it. We said the Sox needed one arm, or at least one arm, but definitely two, and they got exactly that. Didn't know it was going to be coming from the north side, but
and he's already putting in work.
I heard Tepera's first outing wasn't too good.
First couple of outings, he gave up bombs.
So it looks like we just gonna start
consecutive days.
Are we just gonna start with baseball, man?
Yeah, I'm ready to talk NBA. Let's serve up some basketball.
Because once the baseball talk gets going,
our emotions
are
tied
flow.
to it. Because you know I got some thoughts. But yeah, Gino, I think we should start with the NBA because I feel like if the NBA free agency period is anything like the MLB trade deadline, and I think it has potential. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the stars are aligned in the sports world, but a lot of buttons are getting pushed. And, Gino, I think this NBA offseason has the opportunity to be one of the most exciting free agent periods that we've seen in a minute.
Let's start in Chicago, man.
Should we start in Chicago?
We got to start at the crib, man, before we take it league-wide. It's only right.
So business at hand is the first business at hand for the Bulls is Zach LaVine.
Is that the first business at hand?
It has to be. I mean, I feel like if...
As far as what?
As far as he is the member of the team that's already been there that's in line for a bag. I feel like you got to take care of what's on your home plate first, right? Because
not necessarily. He's a max player.
See,
it's over. It's over, T. No, he's a max player. It's over with for that. What you do, I thought about this. So we're talking Zach LaVine specifically now.
Yes.
The Bulls, depending on which way they go, and it starts. Well, let's just put it all in perspective. It starts with today, and it starts with Lonzo Ball. The Bulls have, don't forget last season they tried to trade Lonzo for Larry Markkinen straight up. New Orleans wanted a little bit more. They wanted a first round pick, and the Bulls said, "No, we can't do that." So that's when they went ahead and got Nikola Vucevic. So now you come back this year. They've been courting Lonzo for the longest. You see the offer sheet on the table. The talks have been 4 years. What, 84 million, 86 million?
In that range, that ballpark, you know.
I said 5 years, 100 mil. I knew Lonzo was a dub at least. So 4 years, 86 million.
See, I think we gotta because I said on Twitter today, G. I don't know if the rumors. How serious should we be taking these rumors? I don't know if it's low-hanging fruit for AK because I feel like we are still learning Arturas Karnisovas, and I like that I feel like nobody really knows what he's thinking. And I know Lonzo has been rumored to go to the team
right
for a long time. It's almost at a point where it's too much smoke there for there not to be something. But at the same time, I feel like we have to get ready for the unexpected, and that's why I feel like the conversation around Zach is a little bit more complicated than just giving him the max, label, labeling him your max player, because I feel like if this team is going to win a championship, how crazy would it be to trade Zach right now? You know what I mean? How you know what I mean? How I feel like that cannot be off the table.
Trading Zach LaVine.
That's off signing trade.
That's off the tape. There's gonna be a sign that could pop. That's how the Lonzo deal is gonna happen.
With Larry marketing.
Yeah, it's got to be a sign and trade. I'm hearing something about Devontae Graham being in that deal, possibly going to New Orleans, you know, to get Lonzo here. But it's gonna be a sign and trade, but it ain't gonna be Zach LaVine.
Now, why does Lonzo? Why do you think he's good next to Zach LaVine? Like, are those two better together?
I mean, we won't know until he gets here, but he fits exactly the mold that the Bulls are heading towards. And you have the scorer in Zach LaVine already. Zach LaVine has proven that he can be a 30-point per game scorer. He's efficient.
That's facts.
He's become a good 3-point shooter that you can depend on.
Facts.
He's now an Olympic player, so now he's getting to see how those other max players and those other guys who lead teams around the league, how they operate. You get to get inside their mindset.
Yeah.
You get to practice with them. You get to see their work ethics. You get to soak up a whole lot of knowledge from guys who've done it at every level and who've succeeded, championships, MVPs, defensive play, all of that. The things that Zach LaVine, he's going to. And if you notice how Popovich is using him in the Olympics, he's like a defender.
100%.
So it's no doubt to me that Zach LaVine is a max player. I think what you do is put the team around him first before you max. You wait until next year. Don't max him out now. You wait until next year. You get Lonzo Ball if that's the way you're going. Then now you get Larry Markkinen out of here. Do you bring back Thaddeus Young? I think Thaddeus Young returns. And then it's about the other guys. Daniel Tice. I think he goes. Tomas Satoransky. With the addition of Ayo, Sato is not really even needed anymore.
100%. He's expendable now.
So now it's about filling the rest of the team out. So now you go and get at least 2 more good players. They don't have to be big 3 type of players, but they have to be good players that you can surround, that you can fill in those voids to put with Zach, Lonzo, and Nikola.
And Vooch.
So you wait.
Of course, you putting some apples in the Pat Will.
You're hoping Pat Wills becomes this star that everybody thinks he can. I know how you feel about that. I'm kind of in the same boat with you.
It's a few question marks that the Bulls have, bro, that just feel like are just too Garpaxy for me. It's like
it's still some Garpax lingering around there now.
And Gino, that's why I feel like when I put the team together, the first team I put together is the team you just said. I go get Lonzo. I go get Rose or Kyle Lowry or DeJounte Murray, excuse me. And I ride with that. And even if I'm a second round exit, I feel like I've progressed. But then I take a deep breath and I say, what if we can do more than that? You know what I mean? I look at the fact that there are better free agents out there. You know what I mean? That Kawhi is going to be unrestricted. CP3 is likely going to be unrestricted.
Both of them guys are signing back. They just opting out of them deals and they going right back to them teams for
another bag.
Yeah,
I understand, but I feel like if we're running the team, I'm not satisfied with bringing Lonzo back with a 4-year contract. You know, how close are you to a championship with that? I just feel like that is a fan appeasing. Here, just take this kind of your dig. They came here talking about building a championship team, and the trend is that you don't have to wait that long to do it. How savvy is your front office?
So shout out to our boy Tony Gill. Tony's tweet yesterday, and this is along the lines of what you're saying, I guess.
Tony.
Bulls fans should consider this. If the Bulls land Lonzo, your core for championship winning for the next 4 to 5 years is Lonzo, LaVine, and Vucevic. Y'all cool with that going up against Milwaukee and Brooklyn and et cetera?
Absolutely. Lunch. You will be Milwaukee's lunch. You will be the Brooklyn Nets dessert, okay? Like, they'll breeze past that and not even lose any sleep.
But again, it's not, okay, that's the core, but then you have, like I said, you have to get those other players, bro. It's not, I don't feel comfortable with Lonzo, Vucevic, and Zach.
But see, now we're already talking about overpaying for Zach, essentially. You're already talking about overpaying for Lonzo, essentially.
Are you overpaying for Lonzo?
If it's more than 80.
That's his that's the market. It ain't like they like, well, because the Pelicans can match the offer. Obviously, they're not. When you look at the Pelicans, you look at the ways, okay, they obviously have a new coach in Willie Green. The way they played last year was Stan basically took the ball out of Lonzo's hands, put it in Zion and B.I.'s hands, and told Lonzo, go shoot 8-9 threes in the corner every game. That's not Lonzo Ball, even though he did shoot close to 40%. So now you bring him back and you put him in his natural position. He passes the ball well. He's going to guard 94 feet. I think he doesn't need a lot of shot attempts. So I think he's perfect for Zach LaVine and Vucevic.
And see, now that's what I'm not 100% sure of, Gino. I think he does need...
Really? Shot attempts?
I think that he's too hot or cold, and that if he doesn't start hot, then he can become like the black hole. You know what I mean?
Really?
They're going up. Oh, yeah.
I think that, and I understand why you say that, because we did see a lot of Lonzo Ball last year, just because everybody wanted to see.
He killed them one time.
He killed a couple times, but for the most part, I agree with you with what you're saying. But I think that's a product of him playing with Zion Williamson.
And I feel that, and Gino, that worries me, because I feel like Zion is you know what I mean, even though Lonzo was there and they do have contrasting kind of games, Zion does need the ball
100%, and B.I. needs the ball.
But Lonzo, I still don't know how engaged he was, and even if he didn't,
I don't think he was engaged at all. I agree. That's what I'm saying. So because of the way Stan Van Gundy changed the offense toward the end of the season, taking the ball out of his hands, relegating him to the corner. So now it feels like New Orleans has completely moved on from Lonzo. They're not gonna match that offer, and he's gonna be a free agent. So it's not like they're like, okay, Lonzo is 4 years, $80 million, and the Bulls like, well, we got 4 years, $95 million.
I just don't know when I've ever seen him be the playmaker that people are trying to make him out to be.
I can agree with that.
I think that people like the name more than the player right now.
And that's crazy, because a couple years ago, it would have been the total opposite. Like, people are sick of his name because of his dad, But I think Lonzo has shown who he could be in this league.
Out on his own.
Yeah, he's shown who he could be. So now it's time. Now he's a grown man.
And you know what I do like about Lonzo? The man has improved his jump shot. It is absolutely...
Looks different.
A whole different process. And it's a burner when he's hot. You know what I mean? I will give him that. When he is hot, the man...
All right, man.
Now, when he's hot, he's streaky.
Let's cut to the chase, man. What's up with you and Zach, man? I've been tough on Zach year after year after year, but I think Zach has earned his position in the league. The fact that he's a first-time All-Star, he's been invited to the Olympic team. I think now it's time for him. Now it's time for him to show that he's a max player. That's why I said you don't max him now. You wait until after the season. You put a team together that can contend. Of course, they're not contending for a title. I mean, who knows? Stranger things have happened. But it's not a championship team, but you have to, I mean, I believe in AK and Mark Eversley. I think they're taking the right steps in building this organization, but it's about step by step. So now you got to get in the playoffs next year. It's just a done deal.
And that's why I think the Lonzo trade is low-hanging fruit, because I know that the next reasonable step is playoffs, but I don't know if AK and them are like trying to like step over that and maybe get to an Eastern Conference Finals next year. Now, see, to answer your question, G. Here's my problem with Zach, and I feel like it goes back to when he first got here. I didn't know too much about him. Since then, he's totally gained my respect. I love watching him play. I feel like he's a hungry, smart player. I feel like it's when it comes to a player that you want on your team, I feel like Zach is, he's not a head case. He's not going to give you too many problems outside the court. I know he wants to win. My problem is that I don't know. First of all, I know he's not the guy on the team. I just don't know if he's like a Chris Middleton.
Say that again. You don't say that again.
I know he's not the guy.
On what team?
A championship team.
Like the A guy?
You can't build around him. You know what I mean? You can't build around him for a championship team. I just don't feel like you can do
now you calling Zach
that.
Chris Middleton?
I don't know if he's Chris Middleton.
You don't even know if he's Chris Middleton?
I don't, man.
No disrespect, because I love Chris Middleton. And I think he was, obviously Giannis is that dude, but I think Chris Middleton is 1A. Like Chris Middleton is that dude.
Exactly. And I don't know if Zach is that. This is how I see Zach. I see him as the Klay Thompson behind a KD and a Steph. I still think he needs to be the third best player on your team, which is great if you can get two better players than Zach. You know what I mean? I just feel like if I'm building a team, I'm worried if he's my second option because I don't necessarily trust him in the clutch as much as I would trust a Chris Middleton. You feel me? And Chris Middleton proved I can go get that killer bucket.
Yeah, if you got one of the top 3 players in the league.
Yeah, but see, I don't know. I gotta see Zach in kill mode with that kind of, you know what I mean?
That is why you wait until next season, until next year after the season is over to give him the contract.
And so who are we pairing with Zach? Like, what is the dream?
I was gonna ask you because that's the move. You got the big guy, you got the scorer in the backcourt. Now you fill out the rest of the team.
And see, now I feel like I'm in danger of being too fanned out because I feel like the dream core is obviously if you want Pat Will to be Kawhi, then it sounds like you need to go get Kawhi. You know what I mean? Like if you're betting that the dude you draft is the second coming of one of the best players of this era, I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure.
But Kawhi, and I hate that, but
I know where he got his dog.
Exactly. Like he was able to learn under one of the greatest coaches of all time, one of the greatest systems of all time, and 3 of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah, man.
He didn't sit in the wing, but he gradually grew year by year until it was time for him to burst onto the scene. When Timmy and Manu and Tony were coming towards the other side of their careers, it was time for Kawhi to blossom, and he did that. So I think people are putting too much on Patrick Williams in his second year.
They got to stop it. It's not fair to him.
Right.
And we've done it too many times already.
Right.
Like, we know how this is going to end. Even if he's really good, to hang your hat on the fact that he's going to be an elite player, it's like, come on, bro.
So Kenneth Steele says, I agree with T. Zach ain't one of them guys. Cuzzo2 says, I feel the same way, T. He's a hooper, not a winner.
It looks good. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's very entertaining to watch Zach, but when those moments where you turn yourself into a max player, I feel like he came in at like 50-50.
Okay, so this is my point to you and Kenneth Steele. I don't necessarily not disagree with you guys. But what I'm saying is he's a max player. Whether he's a winner or a hooper, that's up for debate.
This is a business.
This is a business. If Ben Simmons is a max player,
that's a point.
Zach LaVine is a max player. So again, it's all about the way this team is headed and how they're gonna construct the roster, bro. What players you say Kawhi?
Who gave Ben Simmons that money? But that's a whole nother topic.
Exactly.
It's like max player.
But anyway, let's not talk. Ben Simmons ain't the only one.
Because Joel Embiid is a max player. Okay? It's like, that's a long spectrum. If both Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are max players, it's like, it's a big old gap between Embiid and Ben Simmons, G. And honestly, it's a big gap between Ben Simmons and Zach LaVine. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I'm like, Ben can't do what Zach does on the offensive side of the ball. Like, if Ben Simmons woke up and had a piece of Zach LaVine's game, it would be like a miracle, okay? So I feel you on Zach that he, in the scheme of the league, and in terms of where he fits into the league status, he is a max player. But see, now the Bulls, though, does that mean the Bulls have to give him max money? You know what I mean? It's like, are they going to fall into the hole of okay, we got Zach and it's better to have him than to not have him? I feel like that's how they treated Jimmy Butler. You know, it's like, gee, please stop. I just don't want this organization to be GarPax 2.0. Like, let's not overvalue our players and get stuck with them. Because what, we going to trade Zach for a fourth or fifth time in a couple years when his lift ain't there? You know what I mean? It's like, look, man, go ahead. Yes, when you traded Zach, you were going to have 3 years to make a decision on this man. If you're not 100% certain he's a max player, how savvy are you? I mean, that's why I'm looking at the front office like, who are y'all, G?
So Chris, shout out to our boy Chris. Chris says, how can you say Zach's not a winner if they didn't put the winning talent around him?
Because I feel like you can see a winning player instantly. You know what I mean? Like a winning player is going to affect winning, even if it's just you get swept in the first round. You know what I mean? I want it to be, if Zach is on this team, then at least him alone, we're a playoff team. And that hasn't been the case in the weaker conference. You know what I mean? We're not talking about the West. I mean, you can be 3-4 games under 500 and get into the playoffs.
So J Mac says, trade Zach for who?
That's where it gets interesting, because I feel like it takes you doing your homework. And Gino, I say it again, where it gets weird is that, at least for this team, we've thrown out big names for at least 10, 15 damn years, and like one of them came. So it's always weird when we start throwing out names, but we know Dame is frustrated. We know exactly, but G, I feel like we get stuck in being traumatized by GarPax. Like, we are so used to an inadequate subpar.
20 years of trash.
Yes. When in actuality, a good organization takes advantage of situations like the one Dame Lillard is in. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you want to be somewhere else? How disgruntled are you? So while we think of a package, how about you turn it up a little bit behind the scenes? Put out another leaked report about how you're unhappy. Or, you know what I mean, who else? You know, like, we go down the line. What can you do? and we would have to pull up some rosters and see. But hey,
I just don't understand. I mean, I do understand, but I just think Zach LaVine likes being in Chicago. I think he likes being the face of the franchise.
It's Chicago, man. And see now, and maybe you value that because you haven't had, you know what I mean? A player that value, you know what I mean? Oh, I want to be here.
D Rose?
That situation grew into like a nightmare for both parties, not just for D Rose, but the organization as well. And I feel like that was one of those unfortunate situations in the NBA where, regardless of if you wanted to stay, it was probably best he left, because the organization had just burned every bridge to a healthy, working relationship with him. Which is why I saw the tweet about the Bulls or D Rose having to come home to redeem himself. No, that's bullshit. The Bulls are the only party involved in that situation that has to be redeemed. You know what I mean?
Right.
They totally dropped the ball with the greatest homegrown player they've had. So if they want to bring him back to kind of right the ship, cool. But like I said, Gino, I think that he's going to have better options. We'll see. I think he has a terrible agent.
Who's his agent?
BJ Armstrong.
Damn.
Has let him down numerous times before. So that's an interesting case, Gino. Gene, you got to aim higher, man. I feel like the Bulls got to aim higher than Lonzo Ball and somebody else.
So shout out to the YouTubers, our YouTube family members. What up, Sid? Sidney Brown says, I like how this new Bulls management operates. As KRS once said back in the day, don't you know that bad boys move in silence?
Come on. That's what I'm talking. Come on, Sid, you get it. Like, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it has to be a new approach that we haven't seen yet. So I like that we don't really know what AK is thinking.
Well, I mean, we can get a gist of what AK
we know
is
he
thinking.
Needs point. You know
exactly.
We know he needs point guards.
Exactly.
Now, how deep are they willing to go into the point guard bag? How many? They already drafted one.
I mean, Io is a combo.
And he's sort of a project.
Right. Kobe White is hurt.
He's hurt for God knows how long.
Kyle Lowry ain't coming here. Chris Paul ain't coming here. Whoever else ain't coming here. See, Lonzo is the man.
I'm not willing to say that nobody's coming here yet.
Man, Chris Paul got 2 years left, bro.
Cool. That's cool.
So next, Kyle Lowry got 2 years left, man. Them guys.
What if you package him with you bring him over with another player?
Who? Bring them over with another player for who? For who?
Unknown.
For?
I feel like the Bulls are at least going to have one player that nobody is mentioning right now. You know? That nobody is rumored is available.
In free agency?
Free agency or trade.
Okay, that's cool, but I'm talking about at the point guard position.
The point guard position, I feel like they have to keep their options open, but they have to aim high. Like, I need somebody a little bit more proven than our boy Lonzo. With a little bit less questions than Lonzo Ball. And I say that as a person, I feel like, you know, of course he's an upgrade. It's too easy to upgrade this team right now, though. Yeah, I mean, it's Derrick Rose upgrades this team. Kyle Lowry upgrades this team. It's too much of low hanging fruit.
But you got to look at the total lens of it, though, man. When you we keep talking about Kyle Lowry and Chris Paul and those guys versus Lonzo. De'Aaron Fox is a max player, man. You're not bringing.
He is a max player, but they got 4 guards over there in Sacramento right now.
Yeah, well, they ain't taking his job though. That's somebody they signed to lead the next charge. De'Aaron Fox is a king for the next couple years.
All right.
I mean, but so you bring De'Aaron Fox with Zach LaVine?
Oh yeah. I mean, I would like that. Yeah, I mean, then you have more of a threat at the point guard position, and he's still a playmaker.
But he needs the ball. Now he's a guy that got to put the pill up.
He's a scoring point guard, but he can get you 8-9 assists a game. With Zach and Vooch. Like De'Aaron Fox is a talent that I'm way more willing to like bet on over Lonzo Ball. You know, but I feel like he would, of course, De'Aaron Fox is a cat that would cost more. But we see what they did in the draft. I'm thinking, do they want De'Aaron Fox anymore? Or even if you get Halliburton, like and he's younger than Lonzo, but Gene, I just feel like the Bulls can easily make this team better. Now the conversation is about how much better can they make this team. I don't know how much better Lonzo makes this team.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm saying Lonzo can't be the only move you make, bro.
But see, what combo of Lonzo and somebody else, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know how much a combo with Lonzo involved makes
so
your team.
Just hypothetically, the Bulls get Kawhi Leonard. That don't work for you?
Lonzo and Kawhi Leonard?
And Zach and Vucevic?
Let's go! Now you talking, G.
So what are we saying?
But of course, if you team with anybody with Kawhi is a winning combination.
But that's what I'm saying. Lonzo cannot be the only move made, bro. You have to fill in the rest of the squad. And those have to be, whether it's one great player and one good player, whether it's 2 B players, have whatever AK and Mark Eversley are thinking up there, they have to address the need all the way around the team.
I think Lonzo and Kawhi, now they bring them 2 here. Now that sound like championship.
Come on, dude. You see me? I'm like, yeah, bro, come on, Lonzo and Kawhi, yeah.
So you don't think that though?
I think that I definitely think that puts them in another.
Kawhi is coming to Chicago.
That's what I don't think. That's why I said hypothetically, but I do think that puts them a couple steps ahead of where they would be without. Well, obviously without Kawhi, but I'm saying that's my point exactly. Lonzo can be it
for sure. They need a star. Like they need a star.
Most teams have. That's what I'm saying. And I don't think Nikola Vucevic is a very good player, but he's not he's an all-star player, but he ain't a star.
Period.
He ain't a
at that position. He's an all-star.
Exactly, because you need an all-star at the 5. But is he a superstar? No. Is he a star? No. Is he a star name? No.
He's a very good piece to have for a team that's building.
Right.
I'd much rather have him than Daniel Gafford or whoever we was running out at center, Wendell Carter Jr. You know,
Gafford was pretty decent. Like watch. I think that his growth is gonna be real good.
I agree.
Yeah. I like Gafford.
But most teams, they have those 2 guys.
Yep.
So until the Bulls get those 2 guys.
I love what you said about a great player and a good player. I feel like that is the ultimate goal. I've kind of cooled off on the Derrick Rose front because I feel like he is going to have better options, and at the same time, I just don't know if he wants to deal with Chicago media. And I feel like that's a factor in him coming back to Chicago.
D-Rose?
Yeah. You look at just the rumors have brought out the
meatheads.
Yeah, man. And he not only does he deserve better, but honestly, he's put himself in a position where he can choose a place to go to where he's going to be loved. He knows that in New York he's loved and revered. He's a fan favorite. I wouldn't be surprised if we go back there for a little piece of change. Like I said, B.J. Armstrong has let him down before in terms of the size of the bag. But I feel like D. Rose values other things, and I appreciate that about him, that it's not always about the money. I know he's always liked New York, but we'll see what New York has in the plan. Chicago.
Please don't go back to New York. Go somewhere where you can win a ship, bro. Please.
But see, now on that front, where do you think he fits?
Go to the Lakers. Come on, man.
You think they're building a championship team over there?
LeBron and AD always
From
got
98, I feel.
Oh, damn. I forgot they got Russ, though.
Yeah, they got Russ now. And
okay,
they talking about getting DeRozan.
Go to the Clippers. PG.
Kawhi's going to be in Chicago.
Okay, wait to see where everybody else pans out and then make a decision. As far as coming back to the Bulls, Kenneth just said, I want to see Rose get a ship, not come here to get old. J-Max said, how about the Bulls bring Rose back? He'd be a great mentor for Io and Kobe. That's true, but I also think that the Garpax era is over, and the sentimental value that Rose would bring here, that's dead too. AK is fully removed from that. He doesn't have any ties to the crib. He did bring Io here because it was basically a layup.
I feel like that is 100% on point, but at the same time, I feel like if it's one extraordinary situation that he has to understand.
Who?
AK is what it would mean to the fan base if Derrick Rose returned. And I feel like not only does he need a point guard, Derrick Rose is still good, and the fans would absolutely love it.
Would they?
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course, it's 2 Chicagos that we've seen it.
Right.
But that Chicago that Derrick Rose is part of, we rally around. You know what I mean? We turn it up, when it's time to turn it up.
But is D Rose turning this into a championship team?
Him alone? Do I think Derrick Rose can be a piece to if the Bulls brought in a great player and a good player? Do I think Derrick Rose?
Well, of course he could.
Oh, absolutely. Derrick Rose strengthens this bench. He turns this into a more balanced team just on day one, and honestly makes Kobe White expendable and turns him into an interesting situation at the trade deadline. You know what I mean? If you build the point guard position without him, you know what I mean?
Cuz said nobody is coming here, period. Then J Max says, what about Spencer Dinwiddie?
First of all, that Cuz's comment, that's that traumatized by Garpax.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, man, do you see what they did? Because they were that bad, bruh. You could count on them fluffing us up that they were going to do something and not doing anything. So I get it.
But Spencer Dinwiddie wants $25 a year.
And he's not going to play nice with the Bulls. They've had him before.
So that's dead.
But he's an option.
But that's dead.
He's much better than anybody we have currently on the roster running point guard.
Chris says maybe Colin Sexton.
I feel like the Cavaliers just drafted the guy who they feel is the franchise player. So and they have Darius Garland.
The Bulls have to address the power forward and backup small forward rotation positions. And again, I feel like with Daniel Tice probably on his way out, Lauri Markkanen should be on his way out.
Both of them as good as gone, I think.
Thaddeus Young, depending on which way the team is headed, I feel like they're more inclined to bring him back, depending.
Mr. Versatility.
Yeah, you need that guy coming off the bench. I think him in the starting lineup, you kind of stretched him out a little too much last year.
100%.
So him coming off the bench serves a team, a playoff team well.
Yes.
Depending on who else they pick up in free agency.
Turned himself into a playmaker last year.
So then Kyron, what up, Kyron? Kyron says Lonzo, D Rose, and JaVale gets them to the playoffs.
That doesn't move me, bro. Lonzo, D Rose, and JaVale moves the 21-year-old me. Like now, shout out to Joe Madden. I'm a level 5 player. You know what I mean? All I care about is the win. That doesn't get us enough wins. You know what I mean? To my liking. Yes, we're a playoff team.
But is that what we're talking about? Is it taking it step by step, or is it like, okay, that's not good enough? Making the playoffs isn't good enough. It's about
I do not believe in that trust the process stuff.
Being a formidable opponent.
Nah, man.
That's a first round exit.
That's basketball hell.
That's that's a first round. Is that still that might still be play-in tournament squad?
Totally. An injury and you're out of the playoffs with that team, G. Zach get hurt, you're done. Vooch get hurt, you're done. Lonzo hurt, you're done. Okay? It's just too many. Like an injury could just kill any hopes of that team doing anything.
Chris says, I got one nobody's thinking about. Rose to Philly.
Oh, come on. I just pictured Rose throwing it down low to Embiid all day. Pump faking off the midi. Yeah. Okay.
And Kenneth says Rose with the Splash Brothers might be a problem.
That would be a problem. Him getting to the lane and his vision to pass out to the three, that would be dangerous.
Well, I would much rather see Rose in any of those opportunities than coming back here and serving these meathead fans up. Yeah, man. I told you I'm totally against it. I mean, it would be cool for us personally, but I have to put my my personal feelings and my personal agenda to the side, and I want the best for D Rose. He told us the time we talked to him when he was in Detroit. And he said, hey, man, I'm trying to win a ship, bro.
Yeah, man. Gino, I know that I would rather see Rose back in the Bulls jersey, for a bunch of reasons. You know what I mean? Yes.
Number one personal gain.
I have no problem admitting that. But at the same time, he is one of those players that should have been, if there was a such thing as a lifelong Bull, he should have been the one. He still feels the need, which makes me feel like the universe is still mad about how it went down. Okay?
That's what my mom Dukes just said. She said, why? The wounds are still too fresh.
And this is years later. You know what I mean? He's been on a roller coaster since he left.
Right.
I totally get it. Of course, him, the way you just described him on Golden State, yeah, that'd be a bunch of fun. But 72 games in the, with the Bulls, him coming off the bench and playing at a high level, that would have the United Center rocking like I couldn't pass it up. Like I feel like my selfish side wants that a little bit more than maybe I should. Because I don't care. Like, I don't care if he goes and win with Golden State. You know what I mean? I don't care if he goes and wins one with the Clippers. He needs to win one in Chicago.
Oh, that's dead.
And I feel like the front office that's there is not thinking, oh, we got to trust the process and maybe 5-6 years we win a championship. No. 2 to 4 years, bro.
What?
They need to be in the finals with our tourists. I mean, did you ever think the Brooklyn Nets
Yeah, with KD, James Harden, and Kyrie.
Yeah, but even before KD came in, they just had Kyrie. You know what I mean? They were
Then they had KD and Kyrie. KD was out for the season.
Hurt. Yeah, they came over the same time.
Right. KD and Kyrie sounds good to me.
But before they came.
No, I never thought the Brooklyn Nets would be in the finals.
The Bulls have to be in that mode. Like, the Bulls have to be the team that comes out of nowhere. Like, oh, yeah, we got us a player now. We're back in the mix. Look for us to be at the top of the Eastern Conference from here until they're gone. I feel like they have an opportunity. They didn't get a draft pick, which would have been great. If you get a top 5 draft pick, then you don't have to worry about I feel like your path to a championship is different. If you get a top 5 draft pick, it was top 5 protected. You don't get that. So now it's about you got to bring in an already established big fish. It's only a couple of ways to the mountaintop. You know, you either going to draft your guy because you got a top draft pick, or you're going to bring him in through free agency.
So let's get to these last couple comments before we
talk Cubs.
Well, and let's talk about free agency overall.
Okay.
So Cuz says, I think y'all underestimate Lonzo a little bit, though. They don't win, but shit, they don't win with nobody unless Bron come here. And this is a guy who's going on his 19th season, so keep him in L.A. Let him stay over there and let him gracefully bow out in L.A. I think the Bron run is over.
And now you got to deal with Ice Trae.
Right. I think the Bron run is over. It's been a great one. He'll be 20 years in. I'm pretty sure he's working 10 times as hard. Probably put a couple more mil on his off-season body workouts and his his upkeep.
I've seen that's the case. Did you see do you see he pushed that fan?
Yeah, I saw that.
At the Usher show.
Get out of my face, man. I'm with my wife chilling, bro. Don't run up on me like that. Lucky he didn't punch him out. But
100%.
He got one ring left in him. One more ring.
You think so?
I think so too, DJ.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you never know what can happen in the course of an NBA season.
That's true. And again, I'm not trying to slight LeBron either. It's just Father Time is undefeated. I do think that, he had an injury that, that ankle injury was very serious this year.
Haven't seen LeBron be out like that.
And, the recovery time from the championship to, training camp and the start of the season was much shorter than it usually is. So the ramp-up time, I think that took a toll on him and AD as well. But I agree with you, DJ. I still think as long as you got LeBron and AD and both of them can stay, for the most part, healthy, I definitely think with the addition of Russ, depending on how Frank Vogel, manages that and who else they put around him, because they still need some shooting.
Are we getting?
You need the Russell Westbrook who's
that was a trick question. It's only one Russell Westbrook.
It is only one Russell Westbrook, but
watching them play, they'd take anyone. Like if you watch the Lakers last year, it was just LeBron pound the ball to 15, then do 5 and 6 pick and roll into the dude, switched on him, man. So I think any Russell Westbrook, like his up and down court, if you really looked at them, they were so slow last year. And the year that they won, man, I think they was like top 5 in transition. Like, they was just like a slow team, like barely scoring 100. So I think that Russell Westbrook is going to definitely speed it up. And he makes anybody around him better. Like a man to be coming out there, getting 15 assists, man, everybody getting a bucket.
But that's going.
Without looking, tell me if Gene is making the Gene face. I ain't looked at him yet. Well, like Russell Westbrook make everybody better.
It's gonna be a different Russ in LA though, and that's what I'm saying. Like he's gonna have to take on a different role because even LeBron, I think with Russell Westbrook, it's up to Frank Vogel to make that thing work. Somebody's gonna have to be a little more selfless, which I think is gonna have to be all of them.
100%.
So I think it could work depending on they still need a couple shooters. Taylor's gonna play a bigger role off the bench. I still think the Lakers should be one of the favorites to win the ship with them guys coming back.
If they add DeMar DeRozan, then I think they become an even, of course, the mid-range ability on that team is going to be great and deadly.
And who else? Oh, who else did they say they were trying to get somebody else from LA?
If he signed under like a
DJ, I'm
veteran
so glad
minimum.
You said that, bro.
If I'm Melo, I don't go back to Portland. I definitely go to LA.
I got some quick thoughts on when I saw that. I'm gonna tell you the first thing I thought. it's about 3 or 4 dudes in the big 3 that can help the Lakers more than Melo would.
ISO Joe.
ISO Joe. I was gonna say Royce White, but he went crazy. But I'm like, gee,
with the big 3 in the NBA, even though I know it's basketball, there's two different type of basketball like that.
Yeah, and it's half court. You know what I mean? But you gotta go see ISO Joe in the big 3. Even Nick Young. You know what I mean?
You know, they not going at gunpoint on Nick Young.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, what could Melo possibly bring to this team? That's like by the end of the season, you're not like, hey, Melo is like.
Well, you know, they don't have like a lot of cap space, so Melo can still shoot the jumper.
But see, now he'll be the only one. You know what I mean?
The only one what?
With range that can hit from behind the 3 that you like can just plant back there. You know what I mean? That maybe will pull a defender.
Melo?
Yeah.
Man, you can't relegate Melo to being a 3-point shooter. You gotta let Melo do him in spots. Melo is good for 18, 19 minutes a game, 20 minutes a game, and you let him do him. I think that's something the Lakers need. Somebody you can get a ball to and take the pressure off of them other guys. But you still need shooting.
They trying to get J.J. Redick. J.J. Redick was another person because
J.J. Redick would be great with them. Yeah, I think that would be a great addition.
Otto Porter Jr., they was trying to get him.
I forgot about contract year.
Everybody
Otto.
forgot about Otto when he stayed in Washington.
So they trying to, build all these pieces that they can sign in that minimum right now and get some shooters. And that's why I said I believe they do need some youth, but you might see like a 27 and up year old team, like in the 30s because of the money.
Yeah. And like you said, that's where I see Taylor getting a little bit more burn. Not only is he young, but he showed he's more athletic and explosive than they probably expected. I definitely see his role getting bigger, which is great. But we got to see how the Lakers fill out that roster. I like DeMar DeRozan over there. I like what you said about Otto Porter. So I feel like he'll be a great piece.
That would be a great piece for the Lake Show. Another guy who can knock down a 3, can shoot the midi.
Yeah.
Doesn't need the ball in his hands to score. You rely on LeBron and Russ, to put these guys in the best positions to succeed. So I agree with that. But then let's look around the league at the rest of the free agents.
Let's do it.
So we talk about Chris Paul, who just
CP3.
He just declined the option.
For another bag with the Suns. You think he's not leaving Monty Williams?
No, he ain't. Unrestricted. Go ahead, sign a new deal. Maybe 2 years. What is CP? 37? 36, 37?
39 million a year.
No, I'm saying how old is he?
He's 36.
36? So
okay.
2 years, 3 years.
Nowadays when players get out there, they do that 2 years, but the second year is kind of like what he did at the player option. So
yeah, probably 2. I would say 2 years with a third option. You looking at 2 years, probably.
He signed a 1-and-1 again.
1-and-1.
He signed a 1-year deal with a player option because they still get him the second option to like pick it up. So even if he get hurt or anything, he playing for almost $40 million a year. So I signed it. I stunk it up. I could still choose my player option, and you still have to pay me $40 million no matter what.
But he turned down 44.
Well, that's how much. Well, he may get a $50 million.
That's what Steph Curry is going to make like almost $50 million this coming year. Damian Lillard's extension was 4 years, $196. That's $50 million a year, bro.
So what about what we saw from Chris Paul at the end of the season?
It's classic Chris Paul.
You know what I mean? You don't think that's going to affect his bag?
No.
And that doesn't make you look at his age a little bit more like, you know what?
His leadership.
Yeah, because he pulled a facelift with the Suns. But the Suns were, you know what I mean?
The Suns were out the offs last year. They were in the NBA Finals. So it's obvious what Chris Paul means to the team. So I think, especially with him going vegan and, his body being in great shape. I mean, the injury towards the end of the season, the shoulder injury, and then, just Drew Holiday, get a Milwaukee Bucks credit. They did a great job defending those guys and not letting Chris Paul and Devin Booker get the best of them. But I do think that coming back next year, Phoenix has a great chance to get right back to where they were. True enough, a lot of people call this the injury championship season. But whatever, you take it. Exactly. It's an excuse every year.
Exactly.
No, you play who's in front of you. So I'm looking for Chris Paul to definitely re-sign with the Phoenix Suns. We talk about Kawhi Leonard, who turned down his option in L.A. I think it's the same thing with him. Sign for a bigger bag, put a couple more years on it, end his career in L.A.
So as far as Kawhi goes, and I got to mention it, you don't think that relationship is kind of in a bad place?
I mean, ain't that
when from Kawhi's injury, the word is that
he was upset wasn't he upset with the Spurs staff too?
Which is why he wasn't playing with them dudes. He was like, get me out of here. And the word is that they didn't tell Kawhi that his ACL was torn. They told him that it was sprained, and it took him getting his own opinion from his own doctor, which led to him getting surgery without the Clippers knowing. So I don't know, man. When it comes to these medical staffs,
you know how he is.
That work for the team, not for you.
Yeah, man. And it's funny if that's the case. It's funny to be like the Bulls are option.
You gotta look at T-Top smirk when you talk about Kawhi.
He's so stuck on somebody. He's so stuck on the Bulls getting a A1 player, man.
I dream bigs. Yeah, I aim for the head. I go for the gusto, G.
It's gonna be a nice jersey on you, my boy. It's gonna be a nice Leonard jersey.
Let me tell you.
But what about? Let's not trip on Kawhi just having ACL surgery. So, does he even play next season?
Gino, that's a good question. He couldn't. I mean, he didn't play another second after that. You know what I mean? Besides, it was he had surgery. You just know the process at this point of getting back. Maybe before the season is over. I mean, maybe after the All-Star break. Is it a sure thing? Not by the start of the season.
AC, that's usually like a year, like 10 months, at least a 10-month recovery. So. If he did have to get it, like he probably, like you said, wouldn't be back at the earliest All-Star, like February, March type of vibe. So yeah,
I'm signing up.
Nah, the Clippers can have him for one more year. We'll get him out. He declined that next year players options.
Hey, the Brooklyn Nets signed KD. He tore his Achilles.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll miss the season because we wasn't winning it all anyway. Yeah. Go ahead, get fully healthy, and come on back.
Well, you'll be under our control. Like, we don't even have to worry about chasing you. Let's just get you now.
5-year deal for that, Dan. I need to lock you in.
And if you're the Bulls, you ain't had a player like Kawhi since D Rose, damn near since Mike. It's like, yeah, I don't care. What you want?
John Collins.
If you can get him away from Atlanta, that's a no-brainer.
Well, I think the Hawks signing Tristan Thompson, I think they're preparing for John Collins to be gone.
The Dr. Evil Jeff, where he's like, come on over, come home. If they don't want John Collins, like, that is the most perfect fit I can possibly think of.
For the Hawks?
For the Bulls.
Oh, you talking
about John Collins.
John Collins wants a max deal.
He helped the team get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Is he a max? Now, if you telling me that John Collins is worth max money and Zach LaVine ain't, then we got a problem, bro.
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay, then.
I'm not saying that.
John Collins, his max is 4 years, 125.
Shut up, John Collins. Like, what? Like, no, like.
He was solid, bro.
Oh, he was very solid.
But that's not, and again.
And he showed he knows how to take it to another level when it's time.
And he's extended his game. He shoots the three well.
Hey, Zach hasn't done those things. You know what I mean?
Zach hasn't extended his game.
Yeah, but like I'm not even gonna go there. You're right. I was gonna go
Thank you, man. Ice Trey is the man over there. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into no man's land, Gino. You're right.
So John Collins.
I'm just
not to the Bulls. I'm just saying that we're just talking about free agents in general.
I mean, first of all, if Atlanta, if they don't want him, I don't know what they're really thinking, because I feel like he was the second best player on that team. He's too young to lose right now.
I just don't think the Hawks are willing to go full throttle on John Collins.
Why not? You got to the Eastern Conference Finals in their first go.
I hear you. I'm with you. I agree.
Like, now who do you replace him with?
Tristan Thompson.
Hell no.
Next.
And you see now, I'm sure, but that's interesting because if they don't like Trae Young and John Collins, then it makes me feel like, you know, they're aiming higher for who they team with Trae Young.
Right.
You want a Kawhi or you know what I mean?
I mean, they got guys. I mean, I think Cam Reddish is a guy that might be looking to move as well.
And
but if
you move Cam Reddish and John Collins,
they got DeAndre Hunter. You know, they still got Bogdanovich. They still got Kevin Werder. They got a decent little mix over there. But again, now that Nate McMillan is there, you know, how do they construct that team? I mean, I like John Collins for them going forward, but are they willing to pay him the max dollar that he wants? I don't think so.
Is this like a Horace Grant kind of situation? I know he's younger, you know what I mean, and not as proven in the league, but when I watched him in the playoffs, to be a young player, a lot of the times he was the smartest cat on the field on the court with the ball. He made decisions that got the Atlanta Hawks back on track when they were cold. And I feel like he just has those winning intangibles that if Atlanta loses, I think they're losing a whole lot.
Oh, my bad. Wait a minute. Chris said that Tristan Thompson, I forgot that he was traded to the Sacramento Kings in that three-way deal.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Tristan Thompson. I don't even know what he brings to a team anymore.
DeLon Wright.
He got traded over there.
So he's going to Atlanta.
That's cold.
What was his brother's name?
It was like it wasn't DeLon?
No, it was, I can't think of the brother. But I know Chris Dunn.
He was on the Heat, right? The other white brother.
Or was it DeLon Wright?
Yeah, I'm thinking it was DeLon.
No, the one that played on the Heat. Yeah, the six. He retired. He's done now.
Yeah.
I think his name started with a D too.
The only right I remember like Darnell, right, or something like that. But yeah, no.
It's something like that.
Yeah, it's something with a D, right? But the brother. So the brother is going to Atlanta. Chris Dunn is going to the Celtics, and Tristan Thompson
going to the Kings.
Is going to the Kings. So yeah, shout out to you, Chris, for that.
DeLon Wright I feel like one of those. Another one of those versatile players that I feel like, honestly, like that's a really nice fit in Atlanta.
Hey, J Mac said it would be great if you guys could set up to take calls. I'll most definitely call in. I think we do have a caller line too, man. Next week next time, make sure you tune in, J Mac. We'll open up the caller lines.
Yes.
On Wednesday.
Yes.
Shout out to Kyron. Darrell Wright.
There we go.
Remember 6'8", 6'9"?
Yeah.
He was kind of wicked. Came straight out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was wicked. But yeah, his brother DeLon. Yeah, with that.
Yeah.
Was he on the Bron and Wade team, or was he on? Yeah, because he ain't that old with Shaq and Twan and them. Was he on that team?
I think he was after that.
I think he was on the Bron and Wade Miami
he was
team.
definitely after that. Yeah.
Okay. A couple more free agents. Kyle Lowry. It's been rumored that he's going to the Miami Heat.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. There were talks about him in that Lonzo deal about going to New Orleans, but if I'm Kyle Lowry, I'm trying to win somewhere.
He's a cat I think would love to be in LA. You know what I mean? With the Clippers.
That's true too. I could see. It's for Kyle Lowry. It's all about fit and style of play for me. And I think Miami, him and Jimmy, I think that's perfect. I think they align well with each other.
I like the Kyle Lowry to the Clippers move if Kawhi goes back. You know what I mean? We already know what they did and how they gelled in Toronto. And I feel like Kyle Lowry, he showed at the end of the season that he was kind of pulling the James Harden, Blake Griffin.
Yeah, I need to rotate.
Yeah, Joe. He had a couple of games at the end of the season that I was able to see where he was like the only Raptor, him and old boy Van Vliet.
Fred, yeah.
Yeah, were the only ones on the team like that could do anything, and he killed. Like,
so what about Kyle Lowry to the Knicks?
I don't think that's the kind of situation Kyle wants to go for a ring.
What about the paper, though? Sign a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
$40 bucks.
You can't turn that down. Come on.
Then don't forget though.
You can't turn that down.
Calvin, like everybody else, he already got one.
Yeah, you're right.
He could go play somewhere else now.
1 year, $40. Sign me up anywhere.
That's hella important. Yeah. I thought the same thing about our boy Bobby Portis.
Turning down his deal. Why?
Because he got a ring.
Yeah, now my bag is up.
I ain't gonna play for the Kings.
All right.
Shit.
All right.
So I agree with you on Kyle Lowry. He may be after the bag,
and the Knicks can offer him. Win. But the Knicks can offer him something dumb. 1 year, like $40.
Yeah, but I think he will go to Miami.
I agree. If I was
1 year, 40 for Kyle Lowry. Gee, like
Dallas
got a ring.
Well, yeah, you go play with Luka. I do that over New York. I do that over New York and Julius Randle all day.
Who else we got out here? We talked about Lonzo. And I don't mean to kind of slight these guys, but I was going to say they're not that important.
We'll see where it goes.
Devontae Graham, Norman Powell. We talked about DeMar, Mike Conley Jr. I think he'll probably remain in Utah.
I think if, like, say the Bulls ended up with him, I would be highly disappointed. Even though he's coming off 20 and 10.
But yeah, he's getting 30 plus a year.
No.
Straight. Dennis Schroeder.
Absolutely not.
Smoked.
No.
D Rose. I saw Chris was saying that the Bulls were gonna get Evan Fournier. He's a free agent. He's in Boston now. From Orlando.
And he can score.
He is.
He's like a poor
good
man,
player.
Somebody, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a good player, especially coming off the Oak.
I watched them foreign players, with that boy Altorio in there. So, like he's
gonna
sign some foreign players.
We talked about Spencer. That's pretty much it, man. Kelly Oubre. I feel like with Clay coming back, Kelly Oubre probably don't want to be relegated to that bench role, so he'll probably go find somewhere else where he could probably hop into a starting position. So,
Gino, I just remembered real quick, and I know we're running down the free agent list, but I just remember the name that I mentioned early on one of the On the Soil episodes from a while ago. Karl Anthony Towns.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I know they got our boy Ant over there, who
and D-Lo.
Yeah, looks very, very much like the guy who's going to be the face of that team moving forward. What would it, you know what I mean? I wonder what a Karl Anthony Towns situation or what it would take to kind of pry him away from Minnesota. But he's a player that I feel like would be perfect with Zach. And kind of makes Zach the third best player on the team. You know what I mean? With Vooch, kind of stretch the floor with Karl Anthony Towns. He likes to be behind the line a little bit. Could get interesting, Gino. But I know he has that kind of, he got to shake the soft reputation.
Karl Anthony Towns is not soft, bro. That man is a go-getter, and he got buckets. And he's just playing the style of play that's been implemented in the NBA the last few years. So, hey, man, he's up.
He's definitely not soft, but he has some soft tendencies. A couple of the he gets kind of Pau Gasol-ish out there.
5 years, 158. It's 30 plus a year. What did he average? 25 and 11 and 5 in a block. 23, 12, 3 in a block and a half on his life. Sounds Tim Duncan-ish to me.
What did Jimmy say about the boy?
You soft as baby shit.
Yeah. So I feel like that. First of all, like you said, I know that's not the case with Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, I just think that's the position he's in. If he went somewhere where, the not necessarily player development, but he's past that.
Set,
yeah, and just there's an identity, there's a team identity, and there are people there who will also hold you accountable.
Similar situation to what AD was in,
right?
In New Orleans. Yeah, I mean, it's like, all right, so.
Hey, man, it's about that time. DJ, man, you want to take us to a really quick break. When we come back on the other side, man, the inevitable is here.
The atomic bomb That was a fun conversation, Gino.
It was, man.
We'll see what happens after 6 o'clock tonight.
Bulls get Lonzo, and we'll take it from there. But yeah, when we come back on the other side, we are talking MLB trade deadline, the craziest probably 24 to 48 hours ever witnessed in Major League Baseball. So yeah, man, it's a new era for the Cubs. The White Sox are looking to win a World Series this year. Shout out to Rick Hahn for pulling this card. But it's something else that even though those were the big storylines, I got something else that I thought was even an even bigger storyline. So real quick break, DJ, take us. We'll be right back. You're on the soil with the Bigs.
WIIFTBP.
Hey y'all, this is Salim Muwakil from Muwakil's World. In case you missed the last discussion, this is what you missed.
There was a time when there was a large-scale mythology that African people had no endurance. We were only good for sprinting.
Right.
And that was our forte. Other than that, we were useless in marathon races. Establishing your patrimony on the land. If you bury the dead, that means that this land is forever in your family.
Who are our ancestors, really? We are the living ancestors to a whole genealogical line going back hundreds of thousands, millions of years that we carry within us living today. Everyone who preceded us. Mm-hmm. However, that conception took place, whether it was violently, with rape, or whatever the case, but we are them living today.
That's why it's important to understand our capacity, man. Our capacity is unlimited. We have unlimited potential.
Absolutely.
So make sure you tune in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Traffic jam fam, I'm from the middle of the map. I get around, I've been there and back. Born in Gary, Indian, just to be exact. Got family in the go and family in the nap. Same shit everywhere, saw it in the A out on Old Nat. Sucker free suckers can't take the heat, nah they gon' rap. Big dumb cats, big guns clap. Another brother dead, another mother son laugh. I'm from the era where the niggas did scrap. Seen the same person shot with 2 different straps. You don't want this, now you don't want that. Tired of fuck shit, wanna take a nap. I'm a dog on these chicks, just a different cat. Must make at least a M to make an impact. Made just paint the beans matte black. Fresh head to toe, never wore socks that didn't match. Cause I'm from the middle of the map. Yeah, I'm from the middle of the map. I'm from the middle of the map. Nigga, I get around, I've been there and back. Yeah, I'm from the middle of the map. I'm from the middle of the map. Yeah, I'm from the middle of the map. I get around, I've been there and back. Check, I'm from the middle of the map. I get around, I've been there and back. Born in Gary, Indian, just to be exact. Got family in the go and family in the nap. Talking money, shit hit my jack. If it don't make sense, shit I can sense that. Blowing big loud, never the mid-pack. See you talk, that's just big cap. Nigga, I walk the walk with graduation hats. Fuck your opinion, nigga, in fact. You fuck my bitch, shit, I tip my hat. Now she dead to me, can't bring her back. Play the game, play the field, never been set. Bulls game, flow seats just like my Benz mats. Blood to my lips, gun on my hip, her project pack. Act not my cup of tea, rather sip some yak, cause I'm from the middle of the map. Yeah, I'm from the middle of the map. I'm from the middle of the map. Look, I get around, I've been there and back. Yeah, I'm from the middle of the map. I'm from the mid, middle of the map. Yeah, I'm from the mid, middle of the map. Look, I get around, I've been laying back. I'm from the mid, middle of the map. We ride big Chevys, big Cadillacs. I'm from the mid, middle of the map. I'm from the mid, middle of the map. We shaking up, don't give too much that. Nah, I'm from the mid, middle of the map. Granny's moved up top, cook so food and got us fat. Yeah, I'm from the mid, middle of the map. I'm from the mid, middle of the map.
WIIFTBP.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
They calling us the bigs, and not because our size is the bigs. They calling us the bigs, and not because our size is the bigs. They calling us the bigs, and not because our size is the bigs. They calling us the bigs, and not because our size.
The Chicago Cubs, man, 2016 World Champions.
Hey, brother.
That I feel like that championship is a little bit more mystical after the last few days, man. Like the book is officially closed on that core.
Jed said.
Jed said a bunch of things.
He did.
Jed said we wouldn't get here.
Jed said that this isn't a full rebuild. But go ahead.
Because I see they just won a lot of our face, Joe.
Soldier Boy.
It's like trading Rizzo, KB, and Javi ain't a full rebuild. Okay, and I know
rebuild.
And shout out to Kyle Hendricks because I know he was on the mound the day after they did all these trades. But the core that they built to win a championship is no more. You know what I mean? And they traded these guys for prospects. You know, this was a clear sign that they've officially and finally waved the white flag on a team that we felt the window was going to be open for a lot longer, or at least they would have more opportunities, at least being more World Series than just that one in 2016. At the same time, you celebrate the fact that they got one because it's so hard to do it in baseball.
Definitely celebrate the fact they got
98
one.
years.
Yeah,
You know
took 108 years.
Yeah, excuse me. I shorted them 10, my bad. Yeah, it took 108 years. My question, though, is do you think those moves, or with those moves, what is the window for the rebuild? Like, how quickly can they be back to a competitive world champion potential team? You know what I mean? What's that window like? Because I feel like when I look at players like Kyle Hendricks, when I look at Wilson Contreras, I'm wondering will they be here the next time this team is good? Or are they just fillers while the team sucks? You know what I mean? You just got a couple of household names. You need them. You know what I mean? And you've seen the team. I mean, Gene, the team that they're going to be running out on the field for the rest of this season.
Yesterday's lineup was Rafael Ortega, who's done an extremely good job since
lost his mind yesterday.
His call up.
Yeah.
David Bodie, Matt Duffy, Nico Horner's on the IL, so Sergio Alcantara is in that spot. Patrick Wisdom, who's done a great job so far.
Had his time to shine.
That's the infield. Then obviously Jay Hay and right. You've got Ian Happ. Well, actually Ian Happ was in left. Rafael Ortega was in center. Matt Duffy, Sergio Alcantara. Who did I say was that second?
David Bodie.
David Bodie was that second. Patrick Wisdom was that first. Robinson Chirinos was catching yesterday, but obviously that's Willie's spot. So, I mean, when you look at that lineup, the white flag has definitely been waved. But when you think about, and we can talk about the future of the Cubs in a second, but when you think about, you know, the end of an era and the fact that, yeah, if it was Kyle Schwarber first. I mean, when you think about, and like I talked about, there's a bigger issue that hasn't been talked about of why we're here today. And I mean, obviously these guys have underperformed. Like, we definitely thought that was a dynasty in the making, not making the championship, the World Series, not even making it to the World Series in the next 5 seasons after. Mm-hmm. It's a total disappointment. Not making. Now they did make 2 NLCSs. They made a wild card. Then one year they didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, Gene. And Gino, I feel like you just hit it on the head. You know what I mean? When I look at those guys on other teams, when I look at Rizzo looking like he lost his best friend in the dugout in New York, when I see Javi and Chris Bryant, you know, in New York and San Francisco, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, what a failure. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that these guys have on other jerseys right now is just a massive failure.
It is.
For a team that had all 3 of them. You know what I mean? It's like when KD, Westbrook, and James Harden went their separate ways. It's like, but damn, you had them all on the same team at one point. And it just goes to the fact that they were never able to, like, retool like they tried to tell us they wanted to do. They never got a leadoff guy.
And there we go. And that's, remember I talked about the piece that I was working on. It was an extensive analysis of why that was the title of the piece, is how did we get here? And that was the beginning. Dexter Fowler declining his option and becoming a free agent, and them not finding that piece. We call Dexter the centerpiece, not finding that leadoff guy, that contact guy that gets the ball going. Exactly.
Just missed it. They had Rizzo up there.
They had everybody up there. Joe Madden gave everybody a shot at that leadoff spot.
Kyle Schwarber,
Ben Zobrist, Ian Happ, Jason Hayward, Wilson Contreras, Chris Bryant, Daniel Descalzo, Daniel Murphy, Nick Castellanos,
Daniel Murphy,
Tony Kemp.
Damn, Gino, like, damn. Tony Kemp. Yeah, man. And then, you know, I know they signed Yu Darvish. And I give them the kind of benefit of the doubt on that, because I feel like he didn't come on until it was kind of, his fate was determined.
But why did they have to sign Yu Darvish? Because of a bigger issue that's not being talked about amongst the masses.
Farm. I mean, they had Dylan Cease in their farm. They traded him away for Jose Quintana. And then he didn't turn out to be exactly who the Cubs wanted him to be. And you were left trying to find somebody to replace John Lester.
So when you think about, let's go back to that 2016 championship team. When you think about all of the guys, all of the starters on that team, every single one of those guys were from other teams. Kyle Hendricks came here via trade in Double-A back in 2012.
Yep.
Carl Edwards Jr., he wasn't a starter, but he was a serious piece to that championship team. He came in the trade with the Rangers in 2012.
Yep.
When you look at the starters, John Lester came from the Red Sox.
Yep.
John Lackey came from the Red Sox.
Legends over there.
Jake Arrieta came from the Baltimore Orioles. Justin Grimm, I don't know if Justin Grimm was a starter that year. I would have to look at the roster again.
He came from the Rockies, didn't he?
He came from he came in a trade from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Montgomery.
Oh, yeah.
Came from somewhere else. All of those guys who were crucial pieces of that team came from outside of the organization. So when you think about this organization, and Jason McLeod, who was the head of the scouting department, I just think the way that you scout players, I think it passed them up. I think Jason McLeod did a horrible job.
Absolutely.
And when you
look,
without
question,
horrible.
Don't forget the Cubs had Eloy.
Now, I'm not mad at the Gleyber Torres situation, because you got Aroldis Chapman in return, and it paid off. You got the World Series you were looking for.
I feel like that's the real life question of will you trade talent for one ring?
Right. Now, I mean, that talent, Dylan Cease and those other guys, like you said, that was a part of the next year's trades, right?
Yeah.
So no.
But see, you
no,
you picked from the farm, And when you need to retool, it's like you pulling from empty pockets.
No.
Now they just had to retool the farm with I feel like players that are too iffy. You know what I mean? I don't know anything about this guy, so we don't even have to go there yet. But the fact that I felt like Jed came out today talking about he did all he can do.
Today?
Yeah.
What did he say today?
He was on the score talking about he feels like he offered the best contracts that these guys are going to see even after they've moved on. He feels like the paper that he offered them is going to be, hold up in contrast to what they, see from other teams in free agency.
I mean, I agree with Jed. Well, let's take it player by player. When you think about Anthony Rizzo, he was offered, I think, 4 years, $70 million.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to give Anthony Rizzo more than that unless he has just this astronomical 2 months in New York.
Which he's in the middle of having. Now that point right there, Gino, I feel like it's been kind of understated. Because I feel like the chances of those guys going on, like getting super high is very high.
I agree.
Like, I don't remember a trade deadline where those three caliber of players move. Like, you see Anthony Rizzo like in New York, that man looked like Anthony Rizzo. The way El Mago just hacked that home run.
I didn't even see it.
Dog, he destroyed it. He put everything in the bat just perfect. Yak, you won that ends with the clap on the back, and then Chris Bryant just hit one that was like 2 feet out of the zone. It's like, gee, these are three of the most talented players that have ever changed teams at a deadline. It's no doubt that the 2 months, they can get hot for 2 months.
But another thing that I think is going understated is that Jed did do them a solid by putting them in position to play in October.
Putting them on the stage, for
yeah,
sure.
and to play in October. So give Jed and the Cubs credit for doing them a solid and not sending them somewhere where they could fade to black.
I feel like that was more a product of the madness of the deadline. Like the teams that were right there, that are right there knocking on the championship door were aggressive as hell.
Right.
Like everybody was making a move. And it got to a point with the Giants where if they didn't get Chris Bryant, it was like, gee, y'all need to go get Chris Bryant. The Dodgers then tooled up. The Rays, the White Sox, everybody made a move. Now Chris Bryant is yours. Go do it. You know what I mean? And the Mets, Javi, I feel like he may have gotten the most respect because it was, he made it be known if I want to go anywhere, it's the Mets.
Go play with my homie. Right.
I thought they did Rizzo a solid that they traded him before he got on that plane.
Right.
For some reason, I feel like they keep spitting in our boy Chris Bryant's face. He had to go to Washington, and then he had to hop on a plane from Chicago to Washington, and then fly across the country to San Francisco. It's like, gee, you could have pushed the button on that. You know what I mean? I'm sure that offer must have been on the table. Like, did you want the videos of him crying in your dugout? If you're Jed Hoyer, you know what I mean? I feel like it was just Chris Bryant as a whole, even, to the way he left, in my opinion, just a clear sign that they mishandled it and fumbled their relationship with him. And all of that talk about, oh, he may come back. I'm like, yeah, right, bro. Like, Chris Bryant, he's a good guy. He's not going to come out and say, oh, yeah, I'm not coming back. Because he is a given that he loved it here.
Well, they mishandled, if you want to talk about that, I mean, they mishandled Chris Bryant from the jump.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. From a whole, they just I feel like, fumbled the best player
But when
they've had like 100 years.
But also when you think about Chris Bryant going forward, Scott Boras is going to get Chris Bryant his payday.
You're going to get him everything he deserves.
So the Cubs were not going to give Chris Bryant his payday.
That's huff as hell. Like, that's huffer than huff as hell. Because there is no salary cap
but
in baseball.
So who do you blame? Why are people blaming Jed Hoyer? He doesn't dish out the money.
I'm definitely blaming the Ricketts. I'm just going off of what Jed said, talking about he did all he can do.
I think he did all he could do. I don't, and not necessarily you in general, but my phone has been blowing up. It's still blowing up, and people are disgusted with what the Cubs got in return. And I don't understand what people thought they were gonna get in return.
See, now when I say that he didn't do all he can do, I go back to what they needed to do after they lost, after the World Series, after Dexter Fowler left. And I know Theo was there for part of the time, but they were continuously stripping this team apart. And then trying, Yu Darvish, they brought Yu Darvish over. And
Yu Darvish was like the Band-Aid, trying to put a Band-Aid over a sore that needed 100%, stitches.
You know what I mean? And I feel like what Jed should have been saying is that he failed. And of course, he's not going to say that. But I feel like this is a case of them failing to build around three of the best players that they've ever had. And not necessarily, like when it comes to what they were going to get for them, you got to admit that if they were going to trade them, they probably were past the point of, getting the most that they possibly could have gotten from them.
Right.
If they could have got more if they traded them last year.
Exactly. Or a couple of these guys, and I'm not necessarily KB Riz or Javi, but when you look at a guy like Kyle Schwarber.
Oh, yeah.
You let him walk.
Oh, yeah.
Could have traded him in 2018 when his value was his value has skyrocketed. So when you look at what you get in return, these are guys whose values were not as high as they were back in the day.
That's the case. I feel like the organization overstated what that that they thought the championship would take them into another level of national recognition. And I feel like they forgot that at home is what mattered most. And they put their money into Rickettsville. They put their money in the Marquee.
Let's talk about the real problem.
Yeah, G. And it first of all, Gino, the fans hated it from the get-go.
Remember and this was 2020 Cubs convention when Tom Ricketts introduced the Marquee Sports Network, and the fans were highly disgusted.
And I honestly still don't know what's the purpose of that network.
Yes,
they
you do.
Didn't even have any breaking. They didn't break away to talk about the Cubs trading away those guys. I thought that was the Cubs network. You know what I mean? They had a whole different, some whole different programming on there when the trade deadline. It's like, what are y'all doing? And I was over in Wrigleyville last night, G. I got dizzy. I forgot I didn't even know what side of the park I was on because I was recognizing, the Do-Right. This is 7-Eleven. They got the Lucky Strikes over there.
The Zachary Hotel.
Yeah, bro. It is, honestly, from when we started in 2016, it looks completely different.
It's Rickettsville, man.
And that's what was their championship prize. You know what I mean? That's what they chose as their prize. They, instead of longevity with their core, their focus became turning this into some fantasy land. And the product on the field suffered. Like, because of that, they failed to put the best product. Like, how many seasons were at the start of the year were we going to hear them say, oh, we're strapped for cash? It's like, since when y'all strapped for cash? Y'all paid Alfonso Soriano. It's like, come on. Was that the Ricketts?
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, y'all got a history, you know what I mean, of forking over cash, and now y'all don't for Rizzo? Or El Mago? Like, okay, y'all gonna lose him.
Yeah, they talking about being, in debt for that loan that they took out to, shore up Rickettsville.
Man, what? Gee, the lies that rich people tell us, Joe.
They act like they own the Tampa Bay Rays and not the Chicago Cubs.
I'm like, man, what?
Told you, man, it's a long time ago. And Tom Ricketts is cool. I think his popularity is diminishing at every moment.
Bugs do not want to see him right now.
That guy that, was walking around the ballpark, shaking hands, taking pictures, kissing babies.
Welcome to Wrigley.
I think all of that is over with at this point.
He looking out the blinds, G, peeking. He might have a Malcolm you did. He might have an AK. Like, are they coming for me yet?
All day, because I know them snipers is on those Wrigley rooftops.
They at the Ricketts head.
Looking at that new office building that
you can just see, like I say, look down at the peasants of Wrigleyville. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's disgusting, to be honest with you. But again, the guys underperform. But when you think about it, like Salam said, the Dodgers just keep replenishing their talent, and that's something that the Cubs have not done.
How awesome does it have to be if you're a Dodgers fan?
Knowing
that they just gonna, like, it doesn't matter, they're gonna pay what they need to pay, go get who they need to get, but championship time comes through the Dodgers. Like, that could have been the Cubs easily. It really could have been the Cubs.
Yeah, man, it's the end of an era, bro. It was Kyle Schwarber. It was Albert Almora Jr., all of these guys that...
Almora's chilling in the minors.
I mean, Rizzo came from the San Diego Padres, but, I mean, if you think about it, he's a Cub. So it started with Schwarber, filtered through Almora.
He's a Cub.
You got Rizzo.
Yeah.
KB.
G.
Javi.
Come on.
When you think about Ian Happ, another guy who's
better with them. You know what I mean?
Underperformed.
Yeah, he has.
But when you think about it, they just did not continue to put the talent around those guys to succeed, and it started with the pitching. When you think about this year, you think about that starting rotation. That's no disrespect because I love Kyle, and Kyle is that dude. But other than Kyle, that's the laughing stock starting pitching rotation around Major League Baseball.
It's unbelievable. I don't know when. That is, it's kind of
painful to look. They held up for a minute at the beginning of the season, but that was just
adrenaline.
Straight adrenaline. Now when it's time to bear down and get to it, the real you shows up.
Yeah.
When you get that ball every 5 days, and as far as Jed, defining the rebuild versus retool.
Yeah. Yo. You know what I think Jed did today? And I got two more things for you, Gene. What he came out and said today, I think was a clear sign that if he thinks this team is going to be the lovable losers again, that's not going to happen. The fans are going to hate this. You know what I mean? The fans are not going to be along for this ride this time, Jed. You know what I mean? So he better make sure that that this is rock bottom. And that the only place they can go is up.
Well, when you think about that and you think about the free agent market coming, this winter, I mean, the Cubs, the cash is the cash isn't a problem anyway, but when you look at it from a payroll standpoint, the only guys on the books for next year are Kyle Hendricks, Jay Hay, and David Bodie. So they got plenty of money to spend. And, I'm just going off of what Jed said. The opportunity to talk to those guys at the end of the season because they only had 2 months of control left.
That's the last thing I had.
So he said the opportunity is still there when you talk to those 3 guys. Well, Javi said how much he loves Chicago. Anthony Rizzo, we know how much he loves Chicago and what he's meant to the team.
Yeah.
Chris Bryant's last comments were, man, all I can tell you is what Jed said. Those guys have been good to me. And he said that they would be open to renegotiating and opening these talks back at the end of the season and towards the winter meetings and stuff like that. So the fact that there were only 2 months of control left on those guys, you get what you can get instead of letting them walk. Then you saw what Aroldis Chapman did. What did Brian Cashman do?
Yeah.
Y'all can have him win a ship, and then he's coming back, and he's been a Yankee ever since.
Yeah.
So you get what you can
get. They gave him
$100
million.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They ain't strapped for cash. How much you need? Cool. Spend it. So when you think about that, you get those guys, you get those prospects because
That's why I love Gino, y'all.
What I do now?
Nah, you just making it. You're bringing me back to my happy place.
I'm just. This is for the Cubs fans that I know
it makes sense.
I know we're all emotionally and mentally fatigued right now, bro. I'm right there with y'all. But the fact that I'm on the inside and I can make light of it and I can speak from an objective standpoint, I understand. You don't let those guys walk. You get what you can get from them. Prospects are just what that word means. It's a prospect. Who knows? But when you think about now, I want to transfer it to what the White Sox did. When you think about what they got in return for Craig Kimbrell and Ryan Tepera, getting 2 major league players, when you look at Nick Madrigal, who's out for the season, but you told me from the jump that you thought Nick Madrigal would be a pretty good, he may not be a star or an all-star, but he's going to be a decent piece of a part of a team.
Yeah.
And he fits exactly what the Cubs need. You need a contact guy like Nico Horner who puts the ball in play, moves the ball around the diamond, and keeps that train moving for the next guy. Then you think about Cody Hoyer, who's had 2 impressive outings out of the bullpen. He's only 25 years old. His upside is there.
Gave up something.
They're looking that. Yeah. That's a sign for Jed when he talks about retooling versus rebuilding. You get rebuilding, you crash everything, and you get all prospects back. The fact that you could get Nick Madrigal and Cody Hoyer, who's looking to be probably the closer in the next couple years. You stretch him out a little bit. He's got good stuff. He's young. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm on one side of it is what we talked about last night. We came up with the Rizzo, Baez, Bryant. That's our era. We were a part of that champion. We share a special moment with those guys. So that side of me, of course, I'm sad to see those guys go, but at the end of the day, it's business. It wasn't working. Change was inevitable. We thought that this was a team. Remember, we talked at the beginning of the season about a Subway World Series finally in Chicago. Man, how quickly life changes.
Sorry, y'all.
And again, my last comment on Jed, if you've been following Jed Hoyer, I think Jed would admit if he's failed. The fact that Theo saw the writing on the wall. Theo got out of the jam early, so he didn't have to be the guy to blow this thing up.
Be the face of that.
No, so he got out, left it to Jed. If you've been following Jed Hoyer since he got that gig, he has been clear and concise on the way that he was headed with this team. And I feel like, this was a first-place team a little over a month ago in L.A. after they threw that combined no-hitter. Fast forward 3 weeks, 11-game losing streak, it just sped up the process. So
that's 11-game losing streak.
It'll do it all. So Cubs fans, man, be happy that that we got to see the core of Schwarber.
You loved it all.
Yeah, man, you got to witness something that Cubs fans for hundreds of years never got to experience, man.
Here's my last thing. My favorite part of the weekend after the guys got traded. All three of them wore their Chicago colors in some form or fashion, whether it was batting gloves or cleats. And I feel like that is not a small thing. You know what I mean? Because we do see rentals in this league. And I feel like the connection that those three have to Chicago, it would not surprise me that maybe one of them comes back in off season,
no doubt.
Or two. Yeah, I mean, I think Javi is going to like it.
Why not?
With the Mets.
Why not?
It's kind of a different vibe because he comes from a city where it was two teams and he kind of was on the big brother. The Mets are the little brother in New York, and I feel like that fan base, it's going to be like how we rallied around Tim Anderson. Like, they're going to love Javier Baez, bro. And you know Javi feels the love. And I feel like between those two, he has the best chance of finding a home in the team that he got traded to. But Rizzo,
and $200 million.
Yeah,
he wants $200 million.
Lindor, it's like Javi's second chapter.
That's a $500 million middle of the infield. They're a couple mil short of the left side of the infield with the Padres, but they just showed you that, hey man, spend that money short. You win baseball games up the middle of the field. So with Pete Alonso at first, Dominic Smith, you still got DeGrom, Marcus Stroman. You got a super decent rotation.
You got some guys.
Yeah, the Mets could beat them dudes in the next year or two.
So I love what you said at the top of the show, or at the top of the conversation, where you said, let's not say it's the end of the chapter yet. We'll see after the winter. So
segue, and I don't think people. How about the conversations between Jed Hoyer and Rick Hahn, man? I actually like that. They kind of scrape the myth of this Cubs White Sox beef.
It's like, why not?
Why not?
You know what I mean? Like, y'all are right up. You know what I mean?
Right up the street.
Yeah.
Why not? I commend those front offices for talking to each other and keeping,
beautiful.
Circulating the dollar with your family members.
And it goes along with Jed. I feel like working in good faith. For Craig Kimbrel not to have to move, like he,
right.
The Terry he's on, like, you don't want to mess with that. He doesn't have to do anything different. So besides the park that he ends up at, but very cool to see them not just bust one trade but two. So that was very it wasn't necessarily out of left field because I felt like Craig Kimbrel was too much of a perfect fit to not knock on that that north side door. But Rick Hahn seems like he has a direct line to Jed or whoever's running the Cubs, and that's a great thing.
Bro says I don't feel like waiting another 35 years for a ship.
Well, the Justin Fields era is upon us, bro.
Okay. Yes, we've waited We've waited 15, 20. We've waited 35 years for another ship from the Bears.
Yeah, bro. I'm going on, what is it, since 2005?
You're 16 years in.
Yeah, bro. I'm in the middle of a 16-year wait, bro. So,
join the club.
Yeah,
huh?
honestly, bro, it goes by fast.
Hey, last thing about the Cubs, the Ed Howard era is near. We don't rush Ed Howard. We don't rush his growth and development. We let him continue to find himself in A-ball. Take it slow. Take it, step by step. Barring injury, I definitely see Ed Howard in Wrigley Field mid to late 2023. And this team should be ready for another run by maybe not necessarily a World Series run, but I think they would be definitely ready to be a playoff team by the year 2024. And y'all know how fast time flies, man. So, hey, man, you got to take the good with the bad. You take the bitter with the sweet. And don't wave your flags, man. I see a lot of Cubs fans talking about, man, I'm done with the Cubs. Y'all just selling wolf tickets. Yeah, maybe you may not watch the games, with the same intensity and excitement as you did with our old guys. But if you're a Cubs fan, man, we've seen worse. This was a team that lost 100 games before, in the midst of the Theo and Jed taking over era. So just stick with your squad, man. But root for the White Sox, man. Put your petty beef to the side. Root for those guys on the other side of town. They got a good thing brewing right now. Me and T said last week that before the trade deadline, they needed to add at least one right-handed arm in the bullpen. But they added two, and Ryan Tepera and Craig Kimbrell were right up the alley for the White Sox. So they have, a 9-game lead in the Central. I think it's the biggest lead in all of baseball. Luis Robert should be coming back soon.
Hopefully by the end of the week.
But not I mean to cut you off, but my only worry about this team is, do they have enough offensive firepower to get the job done?
I texted you before, on the day of the deadline and say I feel like things have changed. I feel like they need 2 arms, an infielder, and maybe another bat.
So you don't think Cesar Hernandez, you think that's just that was a minor tweak?
No, I think that's more than a minor. I wouldn't necessarily call it major, but it's definitely more than a minor thing. You don't have to try Leury Garcia or Danny Mendick out there. He's totally an everyday second baseman for the rest of the season. Eloy is back on the shelf. We'll see when he comes back. He got some tightness in his lower half of his body that he's been dealing with. He didn't play in the Cleveland series.
Okay.
The word is maybe he's back tomorrow, and then if you get Luis at the end of the month, then cool. But I'm worried. I feel like if there is a worry right now, it's not the bullpen anymore. They did their thing with that. It's those bats, man. It's been a while since they delivered. Yoan Moncada, it's not looking like the Yoan Moncada that he did a couple of months ago. Tim Anderson is in the middle of trying to find it again. He dipped back under 300.
Okay.
But he'll be back.
It happens.
Yeah. Jose Abreu is another cat that's kind of struggling. You know what I mean? And then you get absolutely, you haven't been getting anything from the bottom of that lineup. You know what I mean? So the emphasis on Eloy and Luis and Yasmani Grandal bringing more power to that lineup.
What's the word on Yasmani?
That he's just a couple weeks after Luis.
Okay.
That he's looking. That he's, on track and everything.
And that's crazy because, obviously you once you get into September, you want to, and this is the thing, you want to be up enough games where you could kind of scale back a little bit, get some guys off their feet.
Change your sights.
But guys that haven't been in the lineup, they need some work.
Bats, bro.
So,
yes, and I feel like that is the challenge right now. First of all, shout out to Rick Hahn because he was able to add to the team without giving up pieces of the core.
And what we talked about during the break, what the hell is wrong with the Colorado Rockies, man? Why is Trevor Story still in Colorado? They have got to be the most idiotic front office.
Weed is too good in
the
Denver.
Weed.
The Mile High City is like kind of taking over the Rockies front office because they're about to lose the best player of the last best player of their organization
When they just gave up Nolan Arenado for nothing 3 months ago.
Louis.
So you telling me that they wanted Michael Kopech? Is that it? They wanted a straight up Trevor Story for Michael Kopech?
That was the centerpiece of the trade. I think they may have wanted somebody else, but it wasn't a go without Michael Kopech.
And you're saying it wasn't worth it because this guy will be a free agent in the offseason and you can get him then.
They were playing too much of hardball, bro.
Colorado Rockies, you guys, somebody needs to be fired.
Could have had Jake Berger. You know what I mean? Maybe could have had Gavin Sheets.
Somebody needs to be fired in that front office.
That's the story on that one.
Because, it's like the Milwaukee Brewers. If you look at the Brewers, every time they reload or retool, whatever you want to call it, they don't care what, they get the best player available, and then they throw them in the lineup where they see fit. I don't care if we got 2 second basemen and we get a third one because he's the best, we going to find somewhere to put this guy in our lineup. So whoever's running the Colorado, matter of fact, I don't know if I got time to find out who is the Colorado Rockies GM.
Find it out.
Let me find it out real quick before we wrap this thing up. The Colorado Rockies general manager. Oh, no, that's the manager. The GM. Jeff Bridich. No, that's 2014. Let me see. Yeah, he stepped down. Greg Fiesel is the GM. He's the president. So I'm kicking it off with Greg Fiesel. Whoever you got running your baseball, well, he's the president of baseball operations. So I'm giving Greg Fiesel the Goofy Mark of the Year award for keeping Trevor Story in Colorado. The asking price was way too high, man. You let that, because he's going to walk at the end of the year.
Goodbye.
And you just jagged your Smitty, man. So I'm looking to see what the White Sox do. I'm looking for them to, obviously they're going to run away with the AL Central. The Cubs, who knows? I'll still be in the building every week, but it's about the prospects. It's about the growth. It's about the way they're headed.
Look.
Who's going to be the next, like you said, is Kyle Hendricks and Wilson Contreras going to be here for that next era of Cubs, winning Cubs baseball?
Last thing, my favorite or my best takeaway from the trade deadline from the White Sox is that they got the Indians to basically wave the white flag.
True.
You know what I mean? In the division.
True.
So you kind of killed two birds with one stone with the trade deadline. Again, shout out to Rick Hahn, who is not to be effed with. I like the way he does his thing, y'all. So the rest of the season is in front of us. October. Let's get ready, y'all.
Free agency. What time is the
6:00 tonight, right at dinner time. It's these teams, it won't be tampering anymore.
DJ Lonzo Ball, DJ.
We still need something else. Lonzo Ball can only take us to like the play-in. That's about it. We get it. He tells you he's online right now shopping for his Kawhi jersey.
Yeah, he is.
Aim higher. But yes, it helps the Bulls.
Well, on that note, my bad. That was for T. Yeah, that was for T, man.
Pimp came from the heavens above.
Yeah, Pimp heard you, man. Pimp heard you, but man, shout out to everybody in the comment section, all of our Facebook family members, all the YouTube family members, Periscope, Twitter, Instagram, whatever your social media device of choice is. The love is much appreciated. We will see you guys on Wednesday. We're about to go and tune in to our brothers, I Said What I Said, Tu and Herb over there on the I Said What I Said page. So for my player partner, T-Tom, for our guy, DJ, a.k.a. Reese the Ruler, holding us down behind the boards, doing all the hard work, I am Eugene McIntosh. And you know how we do over here at the Bigs, man. Show love, spread love. Stay away from them cocksuckers, because I saw some cock
Don't
guzzling.
say that. No. They gonna kill you, man. The baby. Remember you said you gone, Gene. They didn't
cancel. My bad, man.
The Gino.
So now they calling that the baby. Now we calling that the baby,
don't
huh?
the baby yourself, Gene.
Well, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it in. Okay, let me take that back. Because I definitely didn't mean like physical cocksuckers.
Like actual, like this is like the scene in what's the Will Ferrell movie where he was the basketball player? Semi-pro,
yeah.
It's like, did you just call me a cocksucker?
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. They'd rather be called a cocksucker than a jive turkey. Excuse me. I know you didn't just call me a jive turkey.
Show love, spread love. Stay away from those meatheads, a.k.a. jive turkeys.
Do that.
Circulate the dollar with your people, man. Continue to do that.
Definitely do that.
The merch is coming soon. But most importantly, man, always, always continue to keep it player, man. There's a lot of unplayer individuals running around out here. I saw a few of them this weekend, specifically at Lollapalooza and that Freddie Gibbs show last night. I saw some highlights. It was a
non-player fest.
It was a non-player fest, but I'm going to keep that to myself. So, man, in the words of the late, great Chad Butler, known to most of y'all as Pimp C. T?
The Pimp.
Hey, man.
Get off the boo-boo.
It's us.
We out.
Get off of it, man. If you gonna talk about some squares,
yeah. That boy problem ain't getting too cocky. I'm with that fat shit, nigga, to stop it. I'm with some brothers and they get it poppin'. I'm with my cousins and they get it crackin'. We keep that pistol though, we don't be lacking.